Hello, everyone. My name is Conrad on behalf of Camera Stuff. Thank you for joining yet another In the Limelight interview. Tonight, we're going to be talking to Cat Schramm, pet photographer. Just in terms of her career and recent initiatives that she has done, in particular the Shoot for Food initiative, and we're going to have a lot of fun discussing just that. So, without further ado, allow me to introduce you to Cat. Hello, how are you doing, Cat?
Hi, I'm doing good, thanks, and you?
Doing very, very well. So we're going to have a bunch of questions to ask. So everybody watching, I see we're building a nice crowd as we speak. So if you have any questions to ask Kat, please do drop that in the comments section and we'll tackle them as we go along. And also, if you are watching, introduce yourself. Tell me where you're from. So I see already Lochis has joined the chat. Thank you for joining. All right, so we're just going to build a bit of a crowd. It's going to give it about 5 to 10 seconds. But in the meantime, Kat, how you've been doing? You've been busy.
Sure, we've been very busy, but we are not complaining. The more dog faces we see, the happier we are.
That's a good way of looking at it, right? So it's a very special client to have for dogs. And we're going to talk about your career as the pet photographer. So I'm just going to wait for the crowd to build. Okay, we have a nice crowd. So hello, Mickey. Thank you for joining. All right. So first question I want to ask you. So what inspired you to become a pet photographer and how did you get started in the field?
Sure. So my inspiration for pet photography was actually a team of pet photographers. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention them at this stage. But they were actually the flame or the spark that started the flame. I've always been a fan of dogs and photography. So, yeah. I started with the Pitbull Federation of South Africa. I did some of their weight pulling and high jump shows before they started with agility and obedience. Yes.
All right. Okay. So just to show the crowd what you can do, it's going to show a bunch of images. So this is what Cat is capable of. Very, very awesome images. But it's not just pet photography. So you do people photography as well in terms of maternities, weddings, newborns as well. So we'll talk about all of these images just a little bit later. But first thing I want to talk about is your recent, well, it's not recent, it's 5 years old now, your Shoot for Food initiative. So do you want to give us a bit of an introduction to that?
Sure. It's quite a story. Do you have time?
Yeah, of course, I have time.
Okay, so Shoot for Food started in 2018, actually October of 2018. My husband got sick at work. He got pneumonia and a virus on both his lungs. So he was a little bit out of work for 2 months. We also lived on a farm, so it was far away from ordinary jobs. And I was already in photography, so but not as big as I am now. And the one day we were in really hardships, and we had five rescue dogs in our care. We had no food for them. It was a struggle, and some lady, till this day I don't know who she is. She stopped at our farm gate and she gave us food for all the dogs, a toy blanket, and a packet of treats.
Okay.
And instead of worrying about having cash to help and pay it forward, I thought it's a great idea to pay it forward with my talent and what that lady gave us that day. So yeah, that's how it started. Um, so that year we chose just three really small shelters and organizations, and I think I did like 15 shoots, and we split the food between the shelters. So it was small, but it was humble beginnings.
So you say humble beginnings, but it has gone from strength to strength. So we spoke off air about You're already now busy with the fifth iteration of this, and you said how much food did you gather?
We are only on day 6 of Shoot for Food 2023.
Mm.
We're already on almost 400 kilograms of food, and that's pellets. That's without the tins and without the treats.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, I have to say that the community actually from all over Gauteng has just band together and joined us in collecting food. And obviously the pictures are bonuses for them, but
Mm.
they do it with a good spirit.
Yeah, so just to confirm, what you do is you're offering your services as a photographer, and as payment, you're getting what foods and treats and blankets and whatnot, and you can distribute that among the various shelters.
Yes, yes. Every year we choose just one shelter. Um, and then for that month, I take in no paid shoots. We only do the shoot for food goodie bag sessions.
And you said that you're quite busy, waking up at what 7 a.m. and only completing your job now. So just prior
Yeah,
to this interview, you finish work.
yes, we shoot from 7 in the morning to 8 at night. The week that passed, we were busy every single day, up to 8 o'clock at night. So
Okay, well,
I'm really not complaining.
of course, yeah. So in terms of everybody else, how can they get involved? How can they donate? Perhaps, where can they find more information about Shoot for Food?
um, I share everything on my personal Facebook page as well as my photography page. Shoot for Food has its own Facebook page and Instagram as well. We have a full website for Shoot for Food as well. But I saw the other day that there's a little mistake. Last year we did half-hour sessions, but this year we're doing 1 hour sessions.
Okay. So just to confirm, you have the website here. So if people want to reach out to you and also help out with donations or perhaps to plan a photo shoot, so the website is shootforfood.co.za. Here you can see what that looks like. And just to brag a little bit, at least from your point of view, you've done a couple of features. So I see a couple of online articles and also on CakeNet. That must have been quite something.
Oh, that was spectacular, except for the part where I cried with Judy from
Oh, no.
Lovable in front of
Shame.
4.4 million people.
Well, it means that you're passionate about your doing, and I think that is integral to being a photographer. And I think finding this type of niche, is something that we can all strive to, try and accomplish ourselves.
Yes.
Hello, Kenlin. Thank you for joining. All right. So, what is next in the pipeline for Shoot for Food? Do you plan on expanding or doing much of the same for the next couple of years going forward?
Um, we were well on our way to expand throughout the whole of South Africa, but the logistics just didn't work out this year. But we are looking to restart that again for next year. We have a few photographers from Rustenburg, Mpumalanga. We had a girl in Limpopo and even Cape Town.
Mm-hmm.
So we will definitely revisit that again for next year.
All right, perfect. So next year, if you are a photographer, if you're keen on joining this initiative, so certain next year, all of that information will be released. So you're on day 6 now. For how long does it last?
This year we're only doing 1 month because I open up the
Mm-hmm.
weekdays as well. But usually we run for 6 weeks straight.
Okay, 6 weeks straight, about a month for now. So we also talked about you having a new studio. So how's the new studio space treating you?
Oh, that's fantastic. It's big. Miko who joined us, she was at the studio with her two brilliant babies, Archie and oh my goodness, I can't remember the girl. I remember Archie because he was a busy boy of the night. Um, there's enough space. The dogs are safe. There's space to calm, and there's always ice water available. Yeah.
Okay, so
So Mm?
So just a couple of things I should have mentioned. Number one, would you care to introduce us to your little friend there?
Oh, this is Yapi.
Yes.
He's
Hello,
he's also
Yapi.
he's also a big influencer on social media.
Now, my influencer is barking at the back now. Hey, bouncer. All right, so hello, Yapi. Yapi is also joining us. So if you have any questions to ask Yapi, please do drop them in the comment section. But second thing I should have mentioned, I did mention the features. So you can find that in the comment section. So all the links are provided right there. All right, so if you want to see that CakeNet feature in particular, just go to the link. It is in the comment section. All right, so second question I want to ask you. Can you describe your photographic style when it comes to capturing pets?
Okay, my style is a bit out of the ordinary. I don't do book a shoot and get it done and over with. I do extensive questionnaires, and I'd like to know everything that about the pets before we start. Um, what my editing style is, oh, that's all over the place. I shoot and edit according to the surroundings and the situation. I don't have a normal style like either moody or light and airy. Yeah, I'm all over the place. It's a nightmare.
So whatever matches the subject at the time.
Yes.
Okay, well, that makes perfect sense. So you talked about getting to meet the owners, also talking about the pets. Do you want to talk to us about what that process is like?
Sure. That is actually a longer explanation than the shoot for food one.
No, we got time, don't worry.
I usually kick myself because of this, because I make so much work for myself, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So first, like I mentioned before, I chat to the clients and find out everything about their pets before I even pencil in their booking. Things like temperament, health, age, fears and triggers, what their training is, their sizes, will they be able to
Mm-hmm.
get up the stairs of the studio, all that kind of things. Um, then after that, we will start discussing the client's ideas, what they need.
Mm-hmm.
I don't only do pet portraits, so I do things like pup smashes. Will That's like cake smashes for human babies,
All
and
right.
we do.
I think we
I
have
do
an example of
basically
that.
yes. That's Lily. She's perfect.
No shame. Hello, Lily.
So after that, we'll start looking at what their ideas are, the color schemes, if they need any. Do they want studio location? Um, and then the logistical work actually starts. If they want to do a venue or a location session, I have to go there like a week prior and make sure that the place is safe. There's no illnesses on the premises. There's no other pets on the premises. People don't always tell the truth about the vaccinations and inoculations of the pets. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather walk around with a bottle of F10 and ask 1,000 questions and make sure they are safe before we just jump into a nice venue and it all goes up in flames.
Hey, gosh, yeah, that sounds like a lot of work, but necessary work. I can
Yes,
imagine
yes.
pet photography has its own unique challenges. So, is there any particular memorable pet session that you have done that you'd like to share with us? So, any maybe embarrassing stories or one session that stood out above the rest?
Oh, yes. There's one that comes to mind, and it will always be the best story ever. Sable from Regan, she's the owner of Carney Raw. They make pet cakes and raw meat. We went for a session in Joburg at a very nice and safe venue, but unfortunately there were some swans there.
Oh, gosh,
Uh,
okay.
so
Can
so we
imagine how this unfolds.
So we've been shooting with Sable for the past 5 years. So we know she's a little triggered by other animals, but she's okay. But this day the swans just came honking at her and she just broke loose from mom and she jumped into the pond and she started swimming. And after about 5 or 6 minutes, mom was in the pond trying to catch her. And yeah, I did not help. I took pictures of them in the dam.
I was about to ask. Hopefully, you captured some images of that as well.
I did. We unfortunately had to stop the session because Sable has a little bit of a hip problem.
Okay.
Um, so she was tired and exhausted, but it was so funny and she's okay. She's perfectly fine. And luckily
Yeah.
no 200,000 rand swans was
Oh,
eaten.
yeah, I can imagine. Spoken like a true photographer. Take some photos and then you help.
Yes, of course.
Another question I have, want to ask is, so in terms of uncooperative pets or naughty pets, how do you go about dealing with those challenges on a day?
um So, in my opinion, I don't know if everybody will agree with me, but I don't think there's really such a thing as difficult or uncooperative pets.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of them just need a little more time to adapt to the environment and need some higher reward treats and maybe a toy,
Mm.
a little bit extra, the extra mile and extra love. So usually what we do with them, we take just a few extra minutes and sit with them or play with them, just do what is necessary to get them calm enough. And if they're
Yeah,
not calm,
makes
we'll play with them and we'll work with the situation as it is.
Yeah, it's maybe a little bit of an uncharitable question to ask because I think maybe uncooperative, quote unquote, uncooperative or naughty pets, that's part of the personality and it's exactly what you want to capture as well.
Yes, yes. Yeah, like Mika's little baby, he was a little overstimulated because I was dumb enough to play with a honking chicken in the studio. So
Yes.
we just gave him a few minutes to just get over that super
Mm.
excitement, and then it went very well from there.
Is this the same, Mickey?
Yes,
Okay, thank you for commenting. So I think Abby is in
Abby.
reference to, yeah, the person
Yes,
that you.
yeah. Abby is the little Boston Terrier whose name I forgot.
Oh, gosh, shame. All right, so I think what we're going to do now is jump into your photos. Let me just get that slideshow ready. So from your side, what I want is just a brief description of what went into this particular shot, in terms of gear, backdrop, if there were any particular challenges on a day, etc. Yeah, so basically the floor is yours.
Okay, so this is actually a very special picture. Again, not everybody's gonna agree with me, but that's okay. I work very closely with the Pit Bull Federation of South Africa, and
Mm-hmm.
we try to help as far as we can. So when this whole mess started with the pit bull ban and so on, I got a few pit bulls into studio, and we did some flower shots and some some happy shots to show the brighter side of pit bulls and not
Mm.
just the fighter dogs. Um, so this,
Hello,
if
Yapi.
if I remember correctly, this is King. Um, he is the sweetest boy that you will ever know. He's
Shame.
really, really cute. So in terms of light, we had two soft boxes on the dog, and that backdrop. I think that particular backdrop was bought from Mandy Herbs from Backdrop Passion.
Mm-hmm.
So I specifically bought that for this session because it's nice and airy and bright, and you can see
Mm.
it shows the softer side of the pit bulls as well. Um,
Yeah, I was about to say the happy-go-lucky nature of the pit bull here. I'm perfectly complimented by. Now, everything
Yeah.
here, not just in terms of the overall lighting quality or scheme of the lighting, but the color palette, everything working well in combination here.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a very special picture. We worked with a few pit bulls there. Yeah. Yeah, it was just to show the brighter side of pit bulls, and people should not be afraid. They should know the breed
Mm.
before they get the dog.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is also a very valid topic to talk about in terms of the pit bull, especially concerning recent news as well. So yeah, happy from my side. Something that we're passionate about as well. So happy to see initiatives like this as well. So a big pat on the back for you.
Thank you.
All right. So we mentioned what's it called? The pup smash.
Yes. Now that we say it, it sounds a little weird, eh?
I think it's a perfect name for it. Something that's very sellable and advertisable. Yeah, I think you should probably trademark it.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, so that is Lily. At this stage, we were running out of cash for new backdrops, so I went to the DIY store and I bought some chalk paint, some washable chalk paint, and we spent the whole day painting a backdrop for her birthday. And
Wow.
that was the first session on that backdrop, and she actually loved it, and it was so easy to clean. We still use the two soft boxes, and oh no, this one was shot with the umbrellas. Yeah,
I said
yeah, they were
umbrella
shot with the
giving
umbrella.
yes, an umbrella I think will do well in this particular shoot because it's a bit more uh, wider frame, a bit more wide
Yes,
angle, and the umbrella creates that nuclear bomb of light, which will just disperse soft light everywhere, as opposed to the soft boxes that are just a little bit more directional. That's a good
yes.
choice in terms of light modifier here. So I want to ask a question in regards to backdrops. So you say painted this one. I see you also experimented with paper and PVC. So in your experience, is it a horses for courses type of thing, or would you recommend one backdrop above the rest, in terms of pet photography? Because I can imagine they get quite dirty.
Um, so I've been using paper backdrops on camera stuff for quite a while, and I have to say they're not easy to clean. Obviously not the paper, but as soon as you use one piece, you can take it off or turn it around. So it's not
Mm.
like you lose the whole backdrop at once.
Mm-hmm.
What I see is where the painted backdrops for the bigger dogs is it's better.
Mm.
But with the paper backdrops, the dogs seem to slip on them. So
Okay.
they'll sit up and then their feet will just give out under them. but
Yeah,
but
so the
I'm
paper
a-
back. Go on.
uh, I prefer the paper backdrops. They're just easier to edit.
Yeah, so the paper backdrop in terms of what's the best photographic backdrop, I must say is the better backdrop in
Yes.
terms of what results the paper backdrop gives you. But I want to ask you, you said chalk paint, right? So it wasn't like a glossy paint or anything of the sort, because I've heard of photographers making that mistake, choosing the wrong type of paint when it comes to painting walls as part of their backdrops. So
Yeah.
chalk paint was it?
Yes.
Mm.
Unfortunately, that's something that you have to look at, especially if you want to paint the backdrops. Um, Either a chalk paint or a matte, a
Mm.
complete matte, but washable, preferably.
I can imagine, yeah, preferably washable, yes. So the floor here, was the floor painted or was that piece of material or what's the pink on the
Um,
floor?
Chanel Helen, she moved to Cape Town, and we took over the studio. So before we got there, she built two infinity walls,
Ah,
and the pink backdrop was just a two by four pink backdrop that we painted from wall to floor.
okay, makes sense. There's a
Yes.
couple of comments here from Mark. Lovely shots, Cat. You made a new fan. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
So this is from Liana here. Excellent photographer. My fur babies love her and enjoy the big studio.
Liana is the mom of my 3 golden girls.
Oh, shame. And Almeen Butta saying, absolutely love your photography.
Thank you.
All right, so it's not just in studio, it's outdoors as well. So, in terms of gear, first question I want to ask you is it, do you lean artificial light in terms of flashes, or do you depend mostly on the available lights?
In this particular shoot, I did full natural light, no
Hmm.
artificial light. It was nice. It was nice that day. We had a nice overcast, so there was no need for diffusers or extra lights or so on. But mostly, I only when we shoot outside, I only depend on my diffuser.
Hmm. So
Yes,
the diffuser being scrim, like part of the
yes,
reflector, or yeah, okay,
yeah,
makes sense. Yeah. So it's just to diffuse the direct light.
yes. Just make it a little softer so you don't get that horrible sunspots all over
Mm.
the subjects.
Yeah, makes complete
Because to
sense.
edit that out is a nightmare.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because I imagine setting up a light stand with a softbox and a flash. If people and the doggies walk around, it's difficult, to re-aim the softbox the whole time unless you have an assistant. So this is something I've tried in the past. I call it my Gandalf wand or my Gandalf stick or staff, should I say. So you put a flash on a monopod and you ask an assistant to carry it around and just to follow you around. So it's the
Yeah.
remote control light stand. I don't know if you have tried that trick before.
We are actually normally a whole team that shoots. So my husband is usually the scrim holder, and my nephew, he will make like little sounds and noises and stuff to get their
Mm.
attention. So then I can focus on getting the perfect shots and I can get all the kisses.
Oh, God, it makes life so much easier having the assistants. So you're
Yes.
outside again. Some lovely depth of field here. Do you want to tell us what camera and lenses you typically use?
I only, again, not everybody's gonna work with me here, but I only shoot with 50, no, Nifty 50 1.8.
Hmm? I think many
Um,
people agree with you there. People love their nifty 50s.
that's the only lens I use. I do have other lenses, but I love my 50, especially with the dogs.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes I will add a little bit of depth in Photoshop just to get that extra pop. But
Sure.
in general, my 50 is perfect.
Great stuff. And the camera brand?
At this stage, I'm using a Canon R.
Okay.
I used the 7D Mark II for the previous 11 years.
Okay. So it's a nice little upgrade. But that 7D is also nice. My sister used the 7D and it served her very well. Nice,
Perfect
robust
for
camera,
pet
that.
photography.
All right. So, first question I want to ask, cats versus dogs. What's easier to shoot?
Dogs.
Dogs. Okay. All right. So, particular challenges, perhaps with cats that you want to talk about?
Um, the biggest thing is cats are not all cats are used to traveling. And as
Hmm.
soon as you put them in an unknown environment, they tend to find a place to hide. So, luckily, these cats they travel a lot, and that's Ben in Mumu. So they live close by, so that was very easy. But in general, I'd rather take a backdrop and shoot the cats at their own house.
Mm. So I was about to ask that. So it's probably better to work on location with cats, at their home, should I say?
Yeah.
All right. So the two backdrops here. One looks familiar. Is that the one that you got from Camera Stuff? The
Yes.
Which green is it? Evergreen.
The evergreen backdrop. Yes.
Mm. It's one of my three favorites. It's the teal, the evergreen, and the other one is a slightly cocoa, it's a brown color. But I do love this color.
Depending on your white balance, you can actually get two or three
Mm.
different types of green out of this one backdrop. I saw in a few shots, I almost got like a turquoise off of it as well.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's actually one of my favorite backdrops by far.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is not Pup Smash. This is more Gordon Ramsay. Do you want to tell us
Oh,
about where do you get your props, number one? And
so
also, how do you go about planning a shoot like this?
um, in all honesty, I actually never plan a session with the Dalmatians. Usually, I just call their mom and says, "Oh, I got a new backdrop or I got new props. Bring them. Let's try it out." So this was actually a setup that we made for a baby's 10-month birthday session, and I thought, why not try it on dogs?
Okay, no, it worked well here. I do love the color contrast here as well. The reds contrasting against the greens. It's a perfect color combo.
Yeah, I must say the reds popped very nicely, especially with the brown dog and the
Mm.
green backdrop. It worked very nicely.
So good
But I think
choices
that was
here.
more luck than wisdom.
No, happy little accidents. Why not?
Why not?
All right, let's talk about these two lovely dogs.
Sure. That is the yo. Now you caught me off guard. Now that is one of the sweetest Rottweilers you can ever imagine. His mom's name is Mareika.
Mm-hmm.
She is a tiny, tiny lady, and she works with her two Rottweilers and one Frenchie
Okay.
alone. So
Okay.
she's not scared of anything.
Now it's lovely capturing the personalities here. So I want to ask you if there's a trick behind the smile here. Is there somebody standing behind you with a treat or squeaking a toy?
With these two, I think it was mostly the heat. But yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
usually, yeah, I've got fans all over the studio. That place gets
Mm-hmm.
killing out, but they love the fans. So with the puppy, my nephew will stand behind me with the treat or the squeaking chicken, and so he will catch the attention for me. If he's not there, then I will usually just make the weirdest sounds you can ever imagine,
Mm-hmm.
or throw them, pretend to throw them a biscuit or something, and then we can get the ears and the looks.
A shame. No, clever tricks.
I
Oh,
usually jump over and use my phone as well. YouTube has some nice squeaky toy videos.
now, I think my dog got addicted to animal noises because of that. It was a way of. We had some fun with the pugs and we played YouTube animal sounds, but I think, yeah, now every time an animal makes a noise, they just start barking. All
Shame.
right. So it's not just obviously dogs, but also on the side of people as well. So you do maternities and weddings and newborn shoots as well. So this is in your studio. So you devised this bathtub setup.
Yes, yes, we made that setup about 2 weeks ago. Um, that bath, we're just standing there. It was literally just gathering dust, and I thought, why not make a like a jungle theme bath
Mm.
for maternity sessions. I've actually never ever done a maternity milk bath session, so that was actually the first one I've ever done.
Oh wow! So
And
it's the first try. I must say the results are good.
yeah, I was very happy with that.
Okay, good. If you're happy, the rest of us are happy.
Yeah, I think a big dog will look nice in the tub as well.
I must definitely try that. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
All right. So in studio maternity. So in terms of people photography, how's your process like there in terms of creating a look and communicating with the clients?
It's basically the same. I just don't go to the extent that I go with the pets. I usually the clients ask me for reference images, so I'll send
Mm-hmm.
what I have, and if I don't have, I'll just ask them to see on Pinterest or Google if they have anything in mind, and then I'll just put my own twist on it as well.
Okay, perfect. What was your lighting setup here?
That is actually just one soft box because the other
Hmm.
bulb blew.
Okay, gosh.
So so I've got one softbox camera left at a 45-degree angle from above.
The magic what you can create with one light source only. So these images are stunning.
Thank you. But also the model was she's such a beautiful
Mm,
mommy.
yes,
She
awesome
was just
results all around. All right, now we got a baby. So on the left-hand side, that looks familiar. Was that the PVC backdrop for black side?
the black side is also a painted chalk
Okay,
painted infinity wall, yes.
okay. So babies. Do you want to talk about how you prepare for baby photography?
Sure. Babies are actually more difficult than the dogs. Um,
Mm-hmm. Hands in.
at 10 months old, like Zandru's picture there, with the cupcakes and stuff, he was a little less difficult to work with. Um, so what we did there, mom let me know what her ideas was, and we just gathered
Mm-hmm.
props that will work with that. I also only used one soft box just to get the black out of the black
Mm.
backdrop.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, these images are stunning as well. So, in terms of your next 5 to 10 years as a photographer, do you still see yourself doing a little bit of everything in terms of people photography and pet photography, or do you want to go one direction?
Um, I'll probably do some human sessions for the rest of my life. I've got some let's call them human people. We've got very loyal followers for that. So I'll probably shoot them till I just stop working at all. But my main focus is pets.
Okay. So, besides that, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? What's in the pipeline?
Sure. I am actually working on a basics of pet photography book.
Okay,
Um, I've
awesome.
I've sent it out to a few people and I've got some notes back. So that is also in the pipeline. I'd love to do more workshops and teach more as
Mm-hmm.
well. One thing I see in our industry, especially with the pet photographers, or not pet photographers, people doing pet sessions, they don't really go deep into behavioral and training courses. They only shoot the dog
Mm-hmm.
because it's part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Where I would actually like the workshop we did this year, include behaviorists and trainers as well, so that before they just jump into the genre, so that they can be prepared.
All right, so that's an interesting topic. Maybe you can unravel a little bit more about that. So, behavioral traits among dogs. So, what do you look out for, typically speaking? Is there something people need to be on the lookout for when it comes to behavior among pets?
In terms of studio sessions,
Mm-hmm.
what I usually do is, as soon as the pet comes into the studio, I'll close the doors and have them have a sniff. And while they just get familiar with the surroundings, I will test the flashes just to see how they respond
Mm-hmm.
to the light. So as soon as they duck and they start whale eyeing, like they'll pull their eyes to the side or make their eyes big, um, I will immediately stop the shoot and say it's not gonna work.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, interesting.
so it's the whale eyeing. You can check the tail as well. Um, they will tell you how they feel and if they are okay with the surroundings or not.
Okay, yeah, makes complete sense. So with a book that you're busy writing, so that's going to be a big chunk of it, the behaviors among pets. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yes, I'm also very proud to say that Bianca from Positive Pet Sitting and Training, she
Mm-hmm.
also helped me with a lot of input into the book.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
she's a
gonna.
brilliant trainer. She's very good.
All right. So comment here from Vicky. Hello, Vicky. Nice seeing you around. So hello, guys. You are an inspiration to many. Loving your work. XXX.
Thank you, Vicky. She
All right. So
actually
the
doesn't know how big of an inspiration she is to me.
now Vicky also doing the pet photography. I've asked Vicky to do an interview with us. So hopefully we can get her on an in the limelight session as well.
Yes, that will be great.
All right. So more questions from our side. So how do you stay up to date with any recent trends or latest trends, techniques when it comes to pet photography, and where do you see the future in terms of pet photography?
Sure. It's becoming a big thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Because pets are the new kids and plants are the new pets. The pet photography industry is getting really big.
Mm-hmm.
The market is open. It's a really good thing. So I see a very good future for pet photography, especially when with the times that is changing so much. Um, so in terms of trends, I don't usually follow trends. I just do my own thing. I have tried
Mm-hmm.
to copy a few photographers, but I failed horribly. So I'll just do my own thing, and
Mm-hmm.
I will try a trend, but I won't do it on a regular basis.
Mm. Yes, nobody can do you better than yourself. So it's about itching your own pathway forward.
Yes.
Right. So, okay, people watching, I see we have a massive crowd. So that's good news. So, to everybody watching, please do drop your questions. I only have, I think, one or two questions left, but I would love some questions from the audience as well. So, any questions that you would love to ask, Kat, do drop them in the comment section. So, let's see if I missed anything here. All right. So, in terms of your post-processing workflow, how do you ensure that the final images meet your standards and the quality that you'd like to keep and maintain? So, basically,
Um,
what's the post-processing process like?
in general, it's not that bad, but when it comes to things like shoot for food, I really have to focus. Because last year we had to work through almost 10,000 images just for the 6 weeks. So what
Wow.
I
Okay.
usually do, I'll just do a few tweaks in Photoshop, like color correction, white balance, and then I will just pull it over to Photoshop, and then we'll clean the backdrop, um, make the eyes a little pop a little more, maybe fix a scab on a nose or a muddy
Mm-hmm.
paw somewhere on the fur. So I most people say I don't really think what I'm doing because I don't sit and wait for clients to choose 20 images for themselves. I'll rather work through all the images that's technically correct and nice enough, and then I will send everything. It
Okay.
takes a lot longer, especially because I do most of the editing in Photoshop, but I don't mind as long as they get the quality that's I'm happy with that.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, I see I've gone through all of my questions. So, a couple of no common questions to ask from my side. What advice would you give new pet photographers or just photographers in general?
I think the most important thing, and everybody that knows me will say this as well. Um, as soon as you go into the pet genre, you have to think of the comfort and safety of the dogs first.
Mm.
That's the most important thing. So if you want to do pet photography, do a little brush up on behavioral or training, body language. Um, yeah, and if you don't know someone who can help you, I have brilliant trainers and behaviorists that can help.
Mm. Okay, perfect. So people who want to keep touch with you, where can they find you?
Um, everywhere. So I'm mostly available on Facebook and WhatsApp. I've only recently started to update my Instagram again. Um, so yeah, Facebook, it's Cat Schramm the Pet Photographer, or on WhatsApp or Instagram. I think Instagram is the same. I think it's just Cat Schramm.
Mm.
I think I'm somewhere on TikTok as well.
Okay, awesome. All right, so those links are in the comment section. So if you want to follow Cat, yeah, so the links are provided. So just do a bit of digging into the comment section, and you'll find it. Also, a couple of features where Cat did some interviews as well. All right, so that's it from my side, at least. I don't know if we have questions from the audiences still. Let's see what we got. Always stunning photos, and Pippi always love the sessions.
Oh, Puppy is
This
my
one looks
favorite
so.
chihuahua in the whole world.
Shame. And here, Vicky confirming lots of patience required, when it comes to pet photography.
Yes. Yeah. You have to, you can't be a pet photographer if you're not patient.
Okay, excellent advice. So I think that's going to be it from our side. Maybe I'm going to give it a couple of seconds more. So if you're in the audience, if you want to ask your questions, now's the time to do it. So drop them right now. Now. Type. Questions. Otherwise, that's going to be it from our side. So it's going to be a good night, unless in the next couple of seconds we have some questions. All right, so I'm just going to give it a moment or two. Let's see what people can come up with. Yeah, but otherwise, it's been very inspirational. The first time we chatted, that was probably during the pandemic, and
Yes.
already initiated all of these plans going forward. But you have gone from strength to strength, and it's been quite inspirational. Acquiring the big studio, I think that's a massive feather in your cap as well, and a huge checkpoint in your career. So that's a big congratulations from us. And going to the future, hoping you go from even more strength to strength. Yeah, so well done, basically from our side. It's been very inspirational watching your journey progress.
Thank you so much. And thank you to camera staff for that very nice backdrop.
It's a pleasure. It's been in good use. So Almeen, thank you for sharing your knowledge. I think that's going to be our last comment. So that's going to be it from our side. So thank you for joining. I'm Conrad on behalf of Camera Stuff. You've been watching In the Limelight, and tonight we interviewed Cat Schramm. So if you want to join or watch this later, should I say, it's going to be available on YouTube forever. You can check it on Facebook as well. But otherwise, that's going to be it from our side. So thank you, Kat. I don't know if you want to say anything, any closing statements perhaps, or any shout outs.
Just have a good night. Give all your dogs kisses from me. I will meet them eventually if I haven't met them yet.
Perfect. Thank you so much for everybody for joining. That's it from our side. Cheers. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye, everyone.